Freestyle chess is back. They're playing in Singapore. Here we can see Danny Wrench and co-founder of the movement, Holly Buettner, introducing it all. This is where the players sat and played today. Magnus Carlsen with the white pieces. Crap, I forgot to think of a funny name for him, but we don't have time to go back. Do help me out in the comments. And Fabiano Caruana is playing with black. They're in Singapore. Exceptional venue and setting. And of course, they're dressed absolutely beautifully. Look at Fabi there. What a guy. Let's dive into this game. Incredible chess here. Wow, this is some goatery. So Magnus with white, kicking off with this move of pawn to f4 here. And immediately, he's opening the queen, streaming on an undefended pawn. And that's why Fabi goes knight b6, blocking the attack. You could have gone b6, of course, built the banana hammock, but then you kill the knight a bit. So Magnus develops his one to c3po. Fabi meets him halfway on the f-file, and now knight b3 carries it on. And surely you want to go knight c6, very natural. Well then though, you run into knight b5, attacking this pawn, and you can't even defend it. This is the craziness of this format. So knight a6 was played. Listen to Magnus whispering away when he sees this move.
Der Springer an dem Rimmer ist absolut wie eine Schnitzel.
We're cracking on here because after d3, Magnus preparing to develop his bishop, Fabi already on move 4 goes wrong. He should look for d6, copycat chess, or g6, but no, he plays the usually lovely pawn to c ships to stop knight b5, but it's a mistake. It's understandable, however. He's been really visualizing this move lately. They're on a boat. He's an exceptional Grand Mariner in his own right, so he wanted to play this one. Magnus shows the problem, however. Develops that sniper, hits the knight on b6 with the battery, and you're simply going to win a pawn. And you can't move the knight, anywhere sensible, or still the pawn drops behind. What to do? Well, Fabi fights back, as you should do when you're under the cosh. He pushes Gary the debt collector down the board, going for the counterplay. So Magnus whips that one off. Now Fabi goes e5, erecting the big black centre, or BBC for short. This is where his counterplay now lies, and so Magnus already tries to break it up with this excellent pawn push. f4 is now played, fixing the central structure. Magnus takes here, pawn recaptures, and this bishop's kind of crying in this new structure. Now you could go h4, defend this one, but then b5 comes, holding on to that one. So Magnus takes this one off. Fabi does the same here, and this is really exceptional understanding of just chess in general, right? Because how many of us are defending the g pawn? Bishop f3, rook g1, h3, whatever. Not our Magnus. He also plays the very naughty knight to a5, sticking it on the edge of the board, but he goes for the counterplay. Again, how do you defend the b pawn? Answer is you don't. So Fabi doesn't yet take here. Instead, he castles the king, connecting his rooks. Then the queen no longer has to babysit this one. This is more of a threat a little bit, although of course the king sits there. You don't want to do it too soon, but more importantly, d5's on the way very soon. It's getting complex. Magnus now could take the pawn on b7 with his knight, but plays bishop e4 here, centralizing, goading d5, but it wasn't played. This is the follow-up point. You jump in here and you're threatening to remove the defender of this pawn, or if takes, well, now you open the g file. That is very nasty, and this is about to collapse. And then where's the knight going? And then what's happening to this one? And then the whole chain collapses. Crazy stuff. So Fabi holds off on d5 and makes a really serious mistake. He should immediately play queen e7, cover the b pawn, support d5, but he flicks in this check, shoots it at Magnus as the top guys do, but it encourages king d2, improving the king. Then he drops back to e7, but now after Magnus goes bishop f5, you're not in time for d5, which you would have been if you hadn't flicked in the check. Because after rook takes, the queen crashing through here, imagine if right now you could play a check, pick up a tempo, then go knight c5. Suddenly the white queen's got to move, suddenly you're getting some counterplay, open b file, and you maintain this massive centre here. This was the way to go, but it was all missed. Fabi had played the check already, so now he has to go knight c5, cover the b pawn, prepare d5, but Magnus gets that tempo to centralise his pony here. I mean, look at him practicing away. This is why he visualises such pony manoeuvres. For moments like this, he's taken over the game. Fabi's backpedaling now, trying to keep it complex, but Magnus simply chops. Again, brilliant understanding of when to give bishop for knight, and now he crashes through on b7. And the point is, the rook's under fire, and if you try and move it, then this knight's going to completely blockade everything. This one's having a heart attack. So that's why bishop takes. Queen recaptures. Again, you want to go d5. You're desperate to, but here you can see the Stockness monster has this absolute meltdown. There's an amazing tactic. Every time you're looking for a tactic, if in doubt, just sacrifice your queen, right? And that's what you actually have to do here. What about that? King recaptures, you go to Forktown, population Fabi, double Forktown, Fork Vegas, you even get the rooks at the end. What a sequence. So that's why no d5 possible. That's why rook b8. That's why queen c7, preparing to sit on this d6 square. Now apparently bishop f6 is best. Okay, bringing that Franken bishop back to life. But this one was played, so understandable. But now there's this rook b1, and Magnus kind of flips those tables on Fabi, right? Yes, you're crashing through here, but now takes, queen recaptures, and that is a massive pawn to drop off the board. You've ruined the BBC. This bishop completely stuck in jail now, dominated by this minor piece. Is that really a horse or a dragon or something? You know, think of an epic creature. That's what it is right now. And after queen b4 check, pawn to c3, another check, the knight gluing everything together. It's the most amazing defender of the king. We get king e1, bishop g7, giving the king a bit of wriggle room because Fabi sees that this check is on the way, and Magnus is the one now going after Fabi, and this is truly an exceptional moment. There's only one move here that keeps a very good advantage for white, because even though white's got a great position, this queen's running around checking, everything like that. Magnus, of course, finds it. He leans back, puffs out his chest, and he's like, do you even rook lift, bro? Because that one now covers these kind of perpetual ideas and looks to attack. I mean, listen to the reaction of the captain of the ship at this point.
Pooh, what a move. What a move.
He's absolutely loving life, driving the yacht. Now we still get the check, king f2, and the queen slides all the way over here, but Magnus got it covered, goes rook h3, covering the pawn. The knight's also doing a great job of keeping kingy safe. And now how do you throw more fuel on the fire? Obviously you fling the f pawn down the board. Lord Hans Feingold approves of this one, and Magnus just takes that actually. Best move. You'd love to do some tricks here, distract the rook, then land a check, but it just doesn't work. The checks run out, you run out of pieces to attack with, so instead this is the play to go for the kill. Just as I say that, the bar hates it. Right, what was best? Okay, queen d1. But this is the human play, trying to get a mistake out of your opponent, because actually you have to find one move, defensive move, which of course our Magnus does. He pushes on with Gary the debt collector, clearing a square for the king. This is the reason it's important, because after Fabi shoots that check here, king g3, if you hadn't made space on this square, then this would actually be leading to a checkmate. You know, the king would not be able to even move. So you'd have to block with the knight, then you take, and this is just simply mate if the pawn is there. This pawn helps the job. What a lie. So we come back. This queen now checks from g1. not e1, of course. You know, then the king would have slithered up here. Now the king steps this way, however, and you've got problems. Check from e1, fine. Hide out on h5. What a king walk from Magnus. He's now threatening this huge check down here, winning a bishop and then mating. So that's why the rook has to meekly return. But after knight d6, Fabi throws in the towel after just 32 moves because this massive knight check is on the way, and then all the smothered mate stuff could happen. If you block the square, best move, well, you have to give an exchange, and then still the position's hopeless. 3 pawns up, is it, or 2 pawns up and an exchange? You know, it's completely game over. More exposed king as well. This is the final position. Magnus takes game 1, one more tomorrow, and of course it's all building to the World Chess Championships starting this Monday. Do smash subscribe if you never want to miss one of those, and check out the video on screen for another epic game.
Mushrooms.
Cheers.